Faded rainbows. Rainbow Dash has always been around her friends, never one to abandon them in the face of danger. Even after she joined the Wonderbolts, she never gave up a chance to go and hang out with them. Her life has always been devotion to those who loved her most. What happens when all those she stays close to slowly disappear, like the fading of a rainbow? Not being able to fly sucked. Not being able to walk sucked even more. Rainbow Dash was always a pony for action, yearning for the next rush of adrenaline. Now she was stuck on the stupid ground, with Scootaloo always looking out for her. Rainbow hated that she needed someone to look after her. Her friends were supposed to depend on her, not the other way around. As she lay in bed waiting for Scootaloo's daily visit, she recalled her early years. She was just a filly, and she was already racing every Pegasus that messed with her or Fluttershy. Even when she lost, she still ignored their laughs. Then, after she did that sonic rain boom, they all adored her. She never abandoned Fluttershy to bask in the crowd, though, always staying by her side when they were surrounded. She never even stopped to sign autographs. Her memory switched to her young mare years, with all her friends around her. She was just out of flight school, being kicked out after breaking all their rules. These years were just the start of her adventures with her friends. Together, they defeated Nightmare Moon, Discord, Queen Chrysalis, and a host of other evil things. She never thought once to abandon her friends for anything. Then came the best years in her mind. She was a Wonderbolt now, the underdogged rookie. All the other bolts generally ignored her, thinking that she would drop out of the team after seeing how fiercely they trained. Of course, she stayed through all the remarks and jabs, becoming the captain of the Wonderbolts with her own blood and sweat. She had become what she always wanted to be, famous. But it had felt empty to her, as if something was missing. She had taken a leave from the Wonderbolts after she reached middle age, heading back to Ponyville for a long-needed break with her friends. After another host of adventures, duty called her back to the Wonderbolts, where Scootaloo was the temporary captain. Almost as if Rainbow had called her name, Scootaloo opened the door. She was wearing the sky blue suit that Rainbow Dash had given to her all those years ago, though with a few patches here and there from where it ripped during a performance. "Hey there, Captain. How you doing?" Scootaloo's bright tone never failed to raise Rainbow's mood. Rainbow smiled and tousled Scootaloo's hair. "I'm doing pretty good, you chicken." Scootaloo made to jab a hoof in her shoulder, but then remembered Rainbow's condition and stopped short. "What's the squad been doing now, Scoots?" "The usual. Flying, crashing, fixing, flying again, and crashing again. You know how it goes." Scootaloo rolled her eyes and sighed. She walked with Rainbow over to her bed and sat down on it, wincing at how slow Rainbow moved. "I'm all right, Scoots. Just not as dashy as I used to be." Suddenly, Rainbow stopped moving and looked at Scootaloo. "You know what, Scoots? How about we do a little something to remember old times?" Before Scootaloo could respond, Rainbow stood up and walked to the door. "Come on, little chicken, unless you're afraid to lose." Grinning, Rainbow made her way outside and away from the orange pony's protests. Once outside, Rainbow stretched her wings. wincing at every pop and noise the underused wings made. She pulled at her feathers, straightening them from the crooked positions they had been stuck in. She stood in the midst of a crowd of ponies who looked at her with concern. After Scootaloo walked out behind her, they looked confused. Rainbow stepped forward and raised her voice. "Hello, every pony. It's been a while since I've seen you all." She felt her emotions coming up into her throat. "I know that I've been stuck in there for a while, but I want to tell you all something before me Scootaloo here race." Scootaloo opened her mouth to protest, but Rainbow held up a hoof to silence her. "I've always been a Ponyville pony, even after I became a Wonderbolt. I hated that I couldn't be both here for my friends and there for my squad. It made me feel empty. I felt as if something was missing from my life. I know now that it's you all who I was missing. I just want to say that I'm sorry for missing everything about our lives. I'm sorry for missing what I could have been seeing, but I see it now, how much you all meant to me. Even after I left for the team, you all cheered me on, not wanting me to fail. You all were more loyal than I ever was. You all deserve to watch me race again." Spreading her wings, Rainbow flew upwards in a shower of feathers and prisms of sparkling tears, glittering with light from the dying sun. Flying straight up, Rainbow prepared herself for a last trick in the routine, the sonic rain boom. The tears on her face froze into small crystals of ice as she went higher and higher. She knew that she couldn't possibly do it now. She wouldn't be able to fly fast enough, but every pony was counting on her. Gritting her teeth, Rainbow went even higher. After she couldn't go any further, she turned around in midair, breathing heavily. It was time. Going into a dive that was exactly 88 degrees, Rainbow started to gain speed. She dove and dove, going faster and faster every second. The air had started to thicken around her, trying again to stop her efforts for the rain boom. Growling to herself, Rainbow pushed back into the airwaves, fighting to break through. With a sudden rush, the air resistance broke, and Rainbow was in a world without sound and only blurring lights. The ponies below were gifted with a sonic rain boom like never before, followed by a downpour of ice that shimmered with rainbows in the setting sun.